Okay, so why is it so important that our sex cells are haploid, meaning they only have the N amount of chromosomes or half the amount of chromosomes, 23? Well, let's look if they were diploid. Sperm meets egg, 46 plus 46, the zygote would have 92. Then the next time that reproduced, 92 plus 92 is 184. And you can see it just gets out of hand crazy. We have to have exactly 46 chromosomes. If you have just one extra chromosome, it could lead to Down syndrome. Imagine if you have all these extra chromosomes, it's just not going to work. So there's another picture of it. We have a female that's diploid. She's got 2N, or 46 chromosomes. Male is diploid, 2N. When their sex cells undergo meiosis, the female gamete, the egg, now has N, and the sperm now has N. When they fertilize, N plus N equals now 2N. That is the zygote that develops into a mature adult. So this picture just kind of shows the differences between meiosis and mitosis. In meiosis, you start with 2N. When you replicate your DNA, we still have 2N because the chromosomes have two sister chromatids. We still call that as one chromosome. In meiosis, after the first division, you go from 2N to 1N, and then after the second division, you have 4 genetically different cells. Mitosis, if you remember, that's 2N, you replicate your DNA, you still have 2N, and when you divide those cells, you still have 2N because all your body cells need to have 2N chromosomes. Okay, so meiosis does PMAT 2 times. There is a chromosome reduction. We go from 2N to N. And there's something called crossing over that happens. Have you ever wondered why you and your siblings don't look exactly alike if you each got half your DNA from mom and half your DNA from dad? Well, meiosis can answer that. So there is this funny thing that happens in prophase 1 where you've got the 2 homologous chromosomes that line up together, and they can snap together, those 2 arms, and can form a tetrad. And those sections then can cross over and exchange. So now you've got genetically different chromosomes. So chromosome segments are exchanged between a pair of homologous chromosomes, and then they can swap and make new segments. So another part of meiosis is called independent assortment. So if you follow this picture, they randomly separate from one another into the gametes, and you can see all the different possible gametes in there. So mitosis versus meiosis. Mitosis has 1 division, 2 identical diploid cells formed, and then it occurs in body cells, and it's involved in growth and repair. Meiosis has 2 divisions. You've got crossing over of chromosomes, does not happen in mitosis. Remember, mitosis, they're all genetically identical. You can have 4 haploid cells produced, and the cells are not identical. And this only happens in the reproductive cells. So the keys takeaway from meiosis, it produces 4 haploid daughter cells that are not identical. This results in genetic variation, which means that all of your children, unless you have identical twins, are going to look different. Finally, non-disjunction. I mentioned about Down syndrome. Non-disjunction can happen when the homologous chromosomes don't separate properly during meiosis. And if you look at this picture here, you see the red chromosome on the bottom. Well, the 2 sister chromatids should have gone to opposite poles, but it didn't. The one egg got both copies. That can result in Down syndrome. So non-disjunction results in daughter cells that have an incorrect amount of genetic information, either too much or too little, and that can result in Down syndrome. So if you're missing complete chromosomes, well, that will not result in a baby.